851, turn right heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report local.
Hey everyone, DJ's Aviation here. Welcome back to another update in my 1 to 400 scale model airport series. In today's update we have two new arrivals. When I say new, they've been here for a few months, but this is the first time they're being featured in the airport updates. If you've been watching my live streams, which I aim to do at least once a fortnight, you probably would have seen them. If not, well then stay tuned because you will be surprised by them. Essentially, I've got a plan for what's happening with the airport. I'm going to be talking about that at the end of the video, so you don't have to listen to me ramble on for 2 minutes. So we're just going to get straight onto the update now. Our first model is the British Airways 7879. This will be heading off to New York. Thought I'd mention one more thing. If you haven't watched any of the previous updates, this airport is a fictional airport and is located somewhere in London. I'm basing it off London Heathrow, London Gatwick, London Stansted, Luton City. Pretty much all the airports in London have different elements in this airport, and I've also just included planes I like in general. So this is our first one. This will be heading off to New York. As you can see, it's rolling down runway 26 and will be having wheels up in just a few seconds. Moving up, we have our first A380 of the day, and probably one of the nicest ones on the mat. This is the Etihad Airways Airbus A380. This will be departing immediately after the British Airways and will be heading off to Abu Dhabi. Currently, Etihad Airways operate a double daily flight to Abu Dhabi. The other aircraft is a 7879 and is actually one of my oldest models. So this one will be heading off in just a second. It is running on time. Thankfully, my Etihad aircraft do run on time. The ground crew don't necessarily have any complications with it, which is always good for passengers. Moving over to the right, we have the regional zone. This is usually empty, but we do have two aircraft here. Over to the right, we have the Flybe Q400 in the purple Flybe livery. That will be heading off to, I believe, Birmingham on quite the short hop. And over to the left, we have the Aer Lingus A320, which will be doing its standard flight off to Dublin. Moving along to the, actually, that Aer Lingus wasn't in focus, so I'll just give you another look of the Aer Lingus. Hopefully you like that one. Moving over to the left, we have the start of the cargo area. Unfortunately, this Etihad tail is probably going to block the Lufthansa cargo, but I'll try my best to at least get some of it, as you can see it here. This will be heading off to Hamburg in around about 35 minutes. Everything's actually been loaded on, and I believe the last thing they're doing now is the fuel. When the fuel truck goes, the pilots will jump on board, all of that will happen, it will get its pushback and depart off to Hamburg. This operates on a 3 times weekly flight. But yeah, as you can see, there's the finished cargo terminal. Moving over to the left, we have the Etihad Cargo 747-400, another one of my favourite models. I've actually just realised there are 3 Etihad planes on the airport today, so if you're an Etihad fan, that's quite exciting for you. Just above that, you might be able to see something going off the screen. That is my 1 to 400 scale, or it actually might be the 1 to 500 scale. I'll have to do a checkup and let you all know what scale this is, but it is my control tower that I got for Christmas. Overall, the detail is nice. It's not an amazing control tower, but it certainly does the job for what I'm trying to get with the airport. We move on to our first new arrival of the day, and this is, I would actually say, probably my favourite model on the mat right now. It's the Air Caraibes A350-900, and this is absolutely beautiful. I know they operate flights into France, and this is from London, so it's an A350 and doesn't really make sense, but the livery just looks amazing on the A350, so I couldn't resist purchasing it. This will be heading off in around 5 minutes. It'll be departing after the Etihad, off to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Moving up, we actually have our next new arrival of the day and the start of the domestic area. Hopefully we get the focus alright. This is the Fokker 70 in the Thank You Farewell colours. I am aware the Fokker 70 doesn't operate anymore, but here it is on the airport because, again, I do quite like the scheme. This camera has been having quite a number of focusing issues in recent times, even when I've been going spotting, so I do just want to apologise if the planes keep going in and out of focus. I'm going to have to work around it and somehow get it fixed because it is becoming an issue. Moving up, I should actually just mention that's heading off to Amsterdam in around about 35 minutes. The tug's already attached and it'll be departing very soon. Moving up, we have the Wolotea Airbus A321, which will be heading off to Iceland and then on to New York on a triangular route. This will be departing in around about 3 hours. Not much, honestly, is going on there right now. Moving up, we have the Ryanair. It's probably not going to focus, that's the best I can do, but this is the Ryanair 737, and this will be heading off to Rome on a new service for Ryanair at my airport. This flight will be 2 times daily. Hopefully it goes well for them, but the inaugural flight will be departing in around 5 hours, so similar to the Wolotea, nothing much is happening. Moving over to the left, now we're getting onto the international terminal, so I know for a lot of you this is going to be the exciting stuff. Our first one is the KLM 747-400. This will be heading off to Singapore, but it will first have a stopover in Amsterdam, so again, another triangular route. I've noticed the planes that come into this airport really do enjoy doing triangular routes to various destinations, purely because I'm picking such random aircraft that wouldn't normally go into London. I'm having to make up a triangular route to kind of have it make sense. So this will be heading off to Amsterdam in, I believe, an hour. It will then have a 2.5 hour layover in Amsterdam before heading off to Singapore. Moving over to the left, another unfinished terminal, which is probably never going to get finished at this rate. And then here we have another one of my favourite models with a collapsed catering truck, which has actually been broken for a year now, but here you go, you can see it in an update. This is my ANA R2D2 787, which is another beautiful model, and I'm very happy that I've got this one as well. This will be heading off to Tokyo Narita in, I believe, an hour and a half, so it is going to be quite busy very soon with a lot of departures. But yeah, this is another nice one. You can just see a lot of paint on the wall, but you can probably make out, if my camera's going to focus, there we go. We have the British Airways A320, which you wouldn't actually normally see at this gate, but it is operating a flight out to Frankfurt, and I just thought of something different. I would put it at an international gate and see how it looks, and it does look quite funny in comparison to the ANA 787. Just having completed a flight in from Perth, we have one of my new models. This is the second time it's appeared on the airport updates. This is my Qantas 7879, another really beautiful model by Phoenix. This was my first Phoenix 7879, so I was rather optimistic as to whether I'd like it, but it is quite nice. This operates Melbourne, Perth, London, but it's mainly known for its Perth to London non-stop, as it connects my airport with Australia directly. This will be heading up to a gate very soon. It's just arrived in. Moving along, I believe this plane hasn't featured in quite some time, but this is the... Ooh, okay, well there's some spider webs on the terminal. That kind of gives you an idea of how active I've been in maintaining it, and that's why I'm going to get on to talk about it soon. But this is making an appearance again. It's my KLM Orange Pride 777. This will be heading off to Indonesia very, very soon. Nothing much is going on around it though. Moving over to the right, we have a Tiger in some cobwebs, and this is the Rossiya 747 with the Tiger livery, another really, really nice model. That pretty much concludes all the planes on this section of the airport. I'm now going to do what I usually do and move the camera over just so you're able to see all the other planes a little bit better. Okay, so now we have changed the angle. The first plane's an American Airlines 777. Hopefully there aren't any cobwebs on this side of the terminal. But yeah, this is the American Airlines 777, and this is also operating a new service from DJ International. It'll be heading off to America, but specifically Dallas. So that, as I mentioned, that's another new service, and this has just got pushed back. The tug will be removed very, very soon, and then it will be heading to the runway where it will depart. This new service is a 3 times weekly, so they're just going to trial and see how it goes. American do also offer flights over to Los Angeles, but they're just trialing it with the Dallas flight right now. Moving along, heading off to Iceland is another one of my favourite models. Probably every single model I like on here. It just really varies which one becomes my favourite over time. But this is the Icelandair 757 in the Hekla Aurora scheme. This is an absolutely beautiful model, and I'd highly recommend it if you can find it. Moving over to the left, we have another flight going over to Frankfurt or Germany. This is my Lufthansa A321 without the sharklets. Boarding's about to commence on this one. It will depart in around 40 minutes. Making another appearance to the airport is the Volotea 717. This will be heading off to Palma de Mallorca, or Palma de Mallorca. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that, so I do apologise on that front. Some of these names are quite difficult to pronounce, but yeah, this will be departing in around 2 hours to Palma de Mallorca. Moving up to our final three models, we have the Brussels Airlines A330, which will be heading off to Brussels. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. Moving over to the right, we have the Air New Zealand 777-300ER. This is ZKOKR. And then moving over to the right, our final model of the day is the Etihad Airways 7879, which completes this airport update. But before I finish up the video, I honestly just want to discuss my feelings with the airport and what's going to happen. I know a lot of you aren't going to like the news you're about to hear. What I'm going to do now is just quickly change the camera angle, set myself up, and really just discuss my feelings about the airport and kind of explain to you what the future of it is. So for me, this airport has been a huge project, and I am really, really happy and proud of how far I've come. I haven't finished it, but if you were unaware, because I know a lot of people ask me this whole thing was made from scratch. When I say scratch, I mean there's no printed down tiles. This was all paint, me measuring the lines out, me measuring the terminals, cutting the wood, painting the wood, doing all this. So this has been a long-term project of mine, and I'm well aware I haven't finished it. I don't know if I'll ever will, probably won't when I explain to you what I'm going to be doing with it. I also don't know how many cuts are going to be put into this scene, because I'm probably going to make a number of mistakes, as this is really just me rambling on. There's no script whatsoever, so I guess you could say it's real. But pretty much over the past few months, you can probably tell from how often I upload these, I haven't been enjoying recording these as much, as well as setting them up. I have still been collecting models. I've recently, I think, got around 4 new models, 3 of which are on here, the other one's an Oman Air. So I am still collecting, without a doubt. I'm struggling to find space to store the models. When I'm not recording the updates, these models just sit on the hobby grass so the paint doesn't stick to the wheels. And I honestly don't do anything. The only time I set the airport up is to record my airport updates. So for some time now, I've been wanting to redesign my room, especially with YouTube becoming a main focus for me now. I've been wanting to, for instance, get a desk, a proper desk where I can actually operate, because it is really difficult when you have a microphone, computer, and I'm not complaining, I'm just merely stating that it is a little difficult to move around with all these pieces of equipment to do what I do with YouTube. So essentially what I'm going to be doing, block your ears if you don't want to hear this, I am going to be packing the airport away. What does that mean update-wise? Well, because I know a lot of you absolutely love the airport updates and come to the channel purely for airport updates, what I'm going to be doing the minute I finish recording this episode, it doesn't mean that you'll see them straight away. I will be recording a further 3 to 5 airport updates with different planes. Essentially, they're going to go up over, I wouldn't say the next year, maybe the next 8 months. So if all goes according to plan and I can find the time to edit, also find the time to record these videos if I end up running out of time. But the plan is to have the videos go out maybe once a month, once every 2 months. But of course, they would have been recorded all in the same day. That's because the airport will be completely packed up. Most likely the extension will be ripped off. It will be folded up. The terminals will be removed, etc. And what I'm going to be doing is packing it away, still in the house, but in nice protective gear. So you might be thinking, well, why aren't you throwing it out? I'm not throwing it out because it's been such an amazing project. I can't bring myself to remove it. I know now you're all thinking, well, what happens after 8 months? After the 8 months is finished, and let's say I've gone through all my 5 uploads, pretty much what I'm going to do is get the airport back out. It won't be sitting here. It might be sitting in another room. I'm going to put all the GSE, Herpa floodlights, terminals down, and I am going to record another 5 updates. You will then get an update again once every 2 months. For me, it makes a difference, but for you, if you're still seeing the uploads, it doesn't make a huge difference. But at the end of the day, I need to do what's best for me, and at this time in my life, this isn't what I need. I know I've had a lot of people, I've told a few people about what the plan is, and really the main question is, are you getting rid of the models? No, I'm not. I'm actually getting proper display cabinets or shelves for these models, so you might end up seeing collection updates. Let's say I go 3 months without posting and then just decide hey, you know what, let's get 5 models or let's get 2 models. It might not be 5, I'm just giving a random number. I might do a collection update. I still believe I will do unboxings. I've just got to now find some space, but ultimately by removing this absolutely massive airport from my room, it will give me more space to design it how I want. Obviously, if you're designing something how you want, you're going to be more productive, and that's going to be a key when I redo my room, especially in coming years with YouTube being a key focus. An idea I did have, because if you didn't know, to put this airport up, I'm going to have to remove the extension which I worked on. So this is going to be a question I'm going to pose to you now. If you haven't made it this far into the video, then that's fine, but I mean, if you're hearing me now, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I was thinking of keeping the extension in my room, so up and displayed. Having the extension, because it's only a small section, there isn't any runway. I'm just going to count now how many gates there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 narrow body gates, and I have 4 wide body gates, and I haven't finished the terminal, but essentially if I kept this out, and this is the side with the fire station, GSE graveyard and spotting area, if I kept this section out, I could possibly start another airport. So on top of recording this airport update, which is like my international one, maybe 5 times in a day to upload for the next 8 months, what I could also do is make a miniature airport update, maybe for airlines only in America, maybe base it in Australia and collect Australian airlines and record that as well, and make it a separate series to my DJ International series. So I hope you can respect my decision. I know some of you may unsubscribe, that's completely fine. I'm just doing what's best for me. So this was a really lengthy airport update, but nevertheless, I still do hope you enjoyed it, as I did go over all the planes I got and so on. So I'd like to thank you all very much for the support on this series. I don't know when the next airport update will be. Hopefully it will be soon for anyone that's wondering. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave a like on this airport update if you do want to see more. I'll see you all in my next video. Peace.
U.S.A.F.